Yep. Then of course you will have a clause on labor and workman. Okay, I think we mentioned that just now. So under this, they will say, work time from what to what time, what are the proof of licenses, maybe CIDB green cards, and then are they how uh, are they skilled, unskilled based on the certificate. So they may get you to, like I said, they can require you to. But I mean, the clauses usually would say they're competent workmen, tradesmen, or people who will work diligently, who like for example the contractor's representative, they will say that you have to be responsive, you must have leadership, and you must have good communication skills. So some contracts say it's very specific, and for labor they will usually say you must have the right skills, the right skills with the based on the right standards or based on Malaysian standards of some sort, MSCA, or certain authorities or agency standards like CIDB on their proof. You have to prove that they will say that usually they will use the word competent, So this word competent will normally uh, be sort of in the way determined by the SO and the supervisor. I mean, leave a bit of a room. Let's say if the contractor could not find somebody who is really, really up to certain standards, then we're going to have an issue here. And then it's not happy with the whole that is side or the representative from the contractor. So, but contract has a remedy lah. All contract has a remedy. So if that person is incompetent or found negligent or guilty of misconduct, then normally SO does have the right to direct the contractor to remove the individual or the group of people, the subcon as well. There is that right to do that. And, you must find a replacement ASAP. And there'll be no clauses on like how fast should you find, but you will say without any delay. So that could also be an issue sometimes. Okay? They couldn't find the right person. You want me to sack that guy and then I have no one on site anymore, then how? So, but the contract way of putting it is basically, yes, if that guy is found like stealing or running drugs or or fighting on site or talking in a very difficult way, or they actually are very rude to the expo or the supervision, they cannot work with anybody. So normally we will call for removal unless it's a very serious situation. Generally, if the qualification company will do you, just leave it and try to work with one another. Case lah, but of course, it's all experience, you will see that there are always very odd cases as well that, some is all they just don't look at the one that guy to be removed. Okay, but that one also is based on the SO's own profession. It's based on real reason of incompetence in this TV, that spread germs, This more serious, situation. Request for a removal in that sense. So yeah, and more all contract will have that. The key point is SO can direct contractor to remove any person who is considered acceptable. Okay, and that include that the reason must be really based on safety, conduct, performance. Okay, and just because somebody's character is not suited to you does not mean that he's not competent, yeah. So have to be very careful with that, Then the removal instruction must comply, must be complied, So they cannot say because you ask me to remove and I don't have anybody here, so I'm stop day 4 and I want to claim for EOT. Or normally we can't do it. If the contractor fails to act, then it is actually a breach. Okay, so then the second aspect under material, manpower, machineries, and material, contracts will oblige to provide machineries and material. So let's say material, we always say, material. Besides, this is a very typical category of clauses in any contract. Okay, in Malaysia. So there will be also contract that will pay certain amount under material on site, sometimes 70%, sometimes 50%, sometimes 30%. I mean, like, it all depends, okay, what is written, okay, and so material has to be delivered. So the material must comply. So it must comply with certain standards that is required. It must comply with certain specification, and then you must look after the material, so the storage or protection of material handling, anything go missing and all that, it is all under the contractor's responsibilities in contract negotiation, during contract negotiation. Some contractor may SO can post like supplementary documents, supporting document, practice, certificate, news, set down delivery orders, invoices, testing reports from national testing laboratory or certified testing laboratory or independent testing laboratory, for example. Basically, it's just to look after the standard of material. But here, like I said, practically, there's a lot of issue with this as well. How to make sure that the material of lowest does not get into the site. I think contract has some answer for you, but practical thing is when you go on site, there's going to be a lot of material coming in and out daily. So it's a battle. So, man, every single pipe, every single light bulbs, and every single toilet bowls, you see. So it's not that easy. Okay, so I think implementation wise, it can be difficult. And of course, storage and all that is also an issue for a lot of time. Yeah. So, but normally this problem will say get some certification. We try to assume that with the certification, everything is fine. So that is what we do when it comes to material. Okay. So if uncertain materials are delivered, so we will have the remedy. The remedy here is for the SO or the supervisor, the whole gang of them to, like SO, employer representative, architect, engineer, the supervisor to actually remove and then must replace. So there will be definitely clauses in the contract that calls for SO or supervisor to instruct contractor to remove and replace such materials at the contractor's own cost. So this is not entitled for any extension of time. If they order the wrong material, you can insist them to bring the right material. You don't need to accept the ore, or if let's say you want to accept the ore, then you must have certain standards to follow. It must fulfill certain testing requirements or specifications and all that. So basically, it's the contractor's responsibility to ensure that all material conform to the contract document, such as specifications and PQP or other statement that is already furnished, that is already agreed upon in the first place. So if the material is found to be defective or not in accordance, you can direct them to. You may, may. This may is not to say that you can, maybe can, maybe not that may. And this is you may means that you should or you would direct its immediate removal and replacements. Okay. Then you don't, if you don't, if you reject, then, you cannot comply, you cannot bring in the right thing or the right alternatives or the right information for them to suggest whether they want to approve the material, then essentially you will lead to, payment being withheld. That would be quite a normal circumstances. You don't get paid for that material on site. And that can be very constraining to the contractor's pockets. So I think that is something that they also want to avoid as well. So that's the same goes with machinery and plant and equipment. So full contract will say, you have to bring in the right, safe, fit plant, equipment, machineries that is suitable for the job on site. It's found unsafe, you must remove it, and then you must make sure that it's licensed, it's not stolen, the parts are not stolen from somewhere. Make sure the material is not stolen from anywhere. Make sure that machinery is not stolen parts and all that. It's not stolen goods and all that. So I think these are some of the very basic things that most contract will put down there. So these are the core principles. Basically, it's the contractor bears the full responsibility of bringing in,